In this video, I will be showing you how to single crochet. Single crochet, as seen here, is the most simple pattern that you can learn and is used in almost every other pattern that is used for crocheting. Learning the single crochet is the basic fundamental step before you can move on to more advanced patterns. For this video, I am going to be using a skein of yarn and a needle. Both can be of any size or color as long as the thickness of your yarn fits comfortably under the hook of your needle. We will also need a pair of scissors so that we can cut off our loose ends when we're done. So let's get started. The first thing that we have to do is make a slip knot. To do so, we will take our yarn and make a loop so that the working yarn, which is the yarn that is connected to the skein, is on the bottom of our loop. We will reach from the bottom and grab our working yarn and pull it tight so we have a loop and a knot. This loop is where we will place our crochet hook, and we will tighten the yarn so that we are able to start our work. The first thing that we must do is make a chain. To make a chain, we are going to yarn over, which is taking the yarn around the back of your needle, placing it under your hook, and sliding off the loop that is already on your needle. So here we have our first chain. We can repeat this step as many times as we like to create a longer chain, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to make a relatively short chain so that it will go quicker and I can get to all the steps. So once we have our chain, we are going to chain one extra so that when we go to our second row, we will have kind of like a stepping stone so that they're on the same level. So once we've chained one more, we are going to take the tip of our needle and place it into the top loop of the second chain from hook. So here we have our first chain, the extra chain that we just made, and the second chain from hook is the one we will be using to make our first single crochet. So we take our needle, place it in the top loop. So we have two chains on our hook. We're going to yarn over and slide off the first loop. So now our remaining two loops will be taken off by yarning over and sliding off the next two loops. So here we have our first single crochet. We will now repeat this step in each chain along our row. So we take the tip of our needle into the top loop, yarn over, and yarn over. So now that we're at the end of our row, we are going to add a row. So to do this, we are going to chain one for the same reason as we did the first time, but now we're going to turn our work so that we can continue building our rows in this direction. So this looks a little different than our first row. Now each chain has two strands. So they are shaped in the shape of a V. So each stitch has two strands accompanying it. So to do our first, or to start our second row, we will insert our hook into the second chain under both strands of that chain, yarn over, and take off both of those strands, and now we yarn over again and take off the last two. So once again, we repeat this step until we get to the end of our row. So now we're at our last stitch. We are going to perform our last single crochet. And here we have 2 rows of single crochet. Now you can continue adding rows for as many extra rows as you want to increase the length of your work. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to cut it off here. So to end our work, we are going to take our scissors and cut our yarn a distance away from the needle so that we have enough room to create a knot. So the knot that will close our work is the same knot that we used to start our work at the beginning. So our slip knot will be performed by yarning over and pulling through all the way. So instead of stopping here like we normally would, we're going to pull all the way through. This creates a knot that can then be tightened to secure your work, and you have your completed single crochet pattern.